Hey y'all, Boston Chris back again with another episode. I think this is episode 5 of the Chris and Kadie Show with yours truly and the one and only and beautiful Kadie Lynn Roberson. How are you today, Kadie?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. You have been busy, busy, busy. What's going on in your world?
A lot.
Same. A lot
What?
has happened since the last time we talked.
I mean, both like in the world and personal. Yeah, like everything is happening. Like
Yeah.
2024 is the year of just straight chaos. I swear to God.
Same here. So we started this show at the beginning of May. And
Mm.
I've just started another podcast called 10 Minutes with Boston Chris, which is an interview style show. And it's popping. I haven't even released an episode yet, and it's already popping. So it's things are crazy. The old email looks like it used to in 2017.
I love that. I
It's
do.
it's gonna be fun. Sunday morning I got to talk with Joe Doyle, who is a songwriter, Hall of Famer.
Mhm.
Wrote songs for Alabama and Reba and Martina, and I mean, you name them, he wrote songs for them. So that's coming soon, and I'm excited about that.
I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And then of course this show is still popping as well, and we have merch finally. I say finally, but I think it's pretty cool. We got merch already. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I think so too. Also, we are working on our theme song. It's gonna be really good. I got recordings. It just needs to be.
Nice. And that means we'll be videoing an open and a close as well to go with the theme song, which will be sitcom-y. And if you have suggestions for scenes we can shoot, comment below. We're going to have a link in the description down below if you want to buy Chris and Kadie Show merch. We have t-shirts and coffee mugs. I think we have a poster, some tumblers, maybe some... I don't remember what I made on there,
My
but
mom said she already bought a tumbler, a shirt, and a sticker.
yeah, I'm gonna be sending some cash app Katie's way probably at the beginning. Hopefully, the beginning of every month, I'll be able to share some money with you from the show. So that'll be fun. Now
Well, I'm gonna
this
end up buying some merch too, so it might just even out.
same here, same here. So we're doing this a little bit different this week because we do have some other big news. Hopefully soon. That Kadie and I are privy to that nobody else knows about yet. That could be very, very big news for this show. Um, I'm just going to say that the word rhymes with vindication. So, anyway, we're going to talk about some things on the show that we haven't done yet. The format has changed, it's going to be completely different today. What's up?
No, run it up. Come on.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about sponsors. HyperX Gaming, thank you so much for sponsoring another episode. You can find a link down in the description below for all of your gaming peripheral needs. HyperX Gaming is the #1 headset company in North America. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
So get you a headset. I have one right there. Her earring just fell off. It's going to be
I
fun.
I snagged it. I just got these and I'm not used to them yet.
So the first two segments in this week's episode, the first segment is going to be for celebrity deaths. And the way this is going to work every single week is we are going to recap any notable celebrity deaths from the week prior, from the date that we recorded the episode. And since Kadie and I are recording on May 29th,
29.
we will be discussing all notable deaths in America from the week prior to the 29th. In the next segment after that, we will be talking about national days where we celebrate some of the wackiest stuff in America, and we're going to be talking about those from the day the episode releases. So this episode releases on June 7th, so we will be talking about the national days of celebration from June 7th all the way to the 13th. I hope that makes sense for everybody. That's why we set it up that way. And some of our celebrity deaths from the 21st to the 27th. I don't have anything for the 28th yet, so we'll add that to next week's show. David Wilkie, a Scottish Olympic champion swimmer, died at the age of 70 on May 22nd of cancer.
Do we know what kind?
It didn't say. In fact, the website I am using doesn't talk about specific kinds of cancer, but
Right.
I can tell you straight up, cancer is the prevalent cause of death this week.
I saw that. Cancer sucks all the way around. It doesn't really matter what kind, does it?
Absolutely. Daryl Hickman, American actor who is known for Grapes of Wrath, Leave Her to Heaven, and Fighting Father Dunn, died on May 22nd at 92 years old.
Man, I hope to make it to 92.
I would jump up and down and probably break
no,
a hip.
I might not want to.
So no.
Maybe not that
I mean, I'm half that age right now, and just jumping up and down makes me tired just thinking about doing it. So, sad news in the world of music. Charlie Collin, May 22nd, the bassist and guitarist and co-founder of the band Train, as well as the Side Deal. He died at the age of 58 from a fall in the shower.
That's
sadly.
crazy. I was literally just last night. I didn't realize he passed away until I looked at like our stuff and everything. I was literally last night playing Drops of Jupiter on the piano and singing it.
Yep,
literally last night.
And that's why I wanted to do this, because how often do we miss the news of somebody that we looked up to passing away and never know about it, because the news only tells us what they want us to hear, not what we would like to hear. Bob Grant, also on May 22nd, American football player from the Baltimore Colts and Washington Redskins, passed away at the age of 77. Morgan Spurlock, who was an American film director, he was known for Super Size Me, I believe, died at the age of 53, also of cancer, on the 23rd of May. Caleb Carr, also on May 23rd, also of cancer. He was an American author, a novelist. Doug Ingle, another one from the music world, age 78. On May 24th, he was an American musician, best known for the band Iron Butterfly, and he has co-write credits on their big hit In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. So,
that's a good song.
Yes, it was. Richard Sherman, on May 25th, age of 95, Richard Sherman, passing away at May 25th. On May 25th, he was an Oscar-winning American film songwriter, again in the world of music. Won an Oscar for, I believe it was Mary Poppins. Also wrote theme songs for The Jungle Book and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I love it. Love it.
Grayson Murray. The next two were kind of surprising to me. Grayson Murray, at the age of 30, he was a two-time PGA Tour golfing champion, passing away at May 25th, and nobody seems to know why yet. He just went to the hospital. He was competing in a tournament over the weekend, actually here in Texas. It happened at Fort Worth, and apparently wasn't feeling well and went to the hospital and passed away.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so scary to hear those kind of stories.
Yeah.
Like,
30 years old. 30 years old.
You know, we all watch stuff like that on TV and all that, but imagine it actually happening to you. Like, just out of nowhere, like, I
just never know.
Yeah,
you just
like
never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. And another prime example of that, actor Johnny Wachter, who was on May 25th, best known for his role on General Hospital, passed away at the age of 37 as he fought against a carjacker. Shot and killed. Trying to defend his vehicle. Unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable.
And two more in the world of celebrities, and then a personal one that I wanted to talk about just briefly. Bill Walton, the Hall of Fame basketball player, age 71, again cancer, passing away on May 27th. Bill Walton was not only a Hall of Fame basketball player, but one of the most charitable basketball players that's ever lived, believe it or not. And finally, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce this, but I'm going to do it anyway because this won't be out for over a week. I don't think this news is public knowledge yet, but John Schwiers, who is an amazing, or was an amazing songwriter, a Nashville songwriter, known for songs like I Left Something Turned On at Home by Trace Atkins, Daydreams About Night Things by Ronnie Millsap, as well as a host of others, passed away. I'm not sure his age or what he passed from, but I have it on good authority that he has indeed passed on.
That's sad.
And last but not least, one of my good friends that I have known for a few years on my Twitch channel, his name is Connor AC4, sadly lost his mom today. He's been a moderator on my Twitch channel for 5 years, and so I'm literally just finding out about that tonight. So just want Connor to know that you are in my thoughts, and as well as the rest of my family as well.
Me as well now.
Connor is a good dude, man. So, Katie, did you know that in 1987, now this right here, this little piece of fact is just going to tell you exactly how stupid humankind is.
I was wondering how your segue into this was going to be. But I was like...
1987, the 50th anniversary of the Golden Gate Bridge. 800,000 people all thought that it would be a brilliant idea to go onto a 50-year-old structure and celebrate. Now, the weight of the large crowd of people was so immense that it caused the bridge to sag 7 feet, and it actually flattened the bridge's usual convex shape.
I love that.
Just going to show you that people are just never going to get it. Oh, wait a minute. We have an old structure. Let's see how much weight it'll hold.
Well, it still held, I guess.
Well, we didn't hear about anybody dying, so... But can you imagine the phone calls for that, right? Like, that's 1987. We have almost 1 million people here that want to cross the bridge. What do we do? Well, hold your breath. That's what you do.
Yeah.
So
and try to swim as fast as you can.
For those of you who watch from outside of the United States of America, let me explain that here in the States, we celebrate some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. And because of all the dumb shit that we celebrate in this country, mostly food related, by the way, we're going to talk about that kind of stuff, beginning with June 7th, which is the day that this episode comes out. June 7th is National Chocolate Ice Cream Day.
I will be indulging. Know that. I might go to the store after we get done and get prepared.
So I'm just going to tell you straight up, by the time we get through this week of celebrating, we going to be obeser.
Fat. Yep.
Yep. Obeser is not a word, but it is now. It means we going to be more obese than we was when the week started. June 8th.
Hopefully not the obesest.
No. I don't think I have enough time left to get to obesest. But you never know. I mean, you
never know. It could be me.
Could happen. June 8th is National Best Friends Day.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, you my best friend. Oh, June 9th, we get back to the food with National Strawberry Rhubarb Pie Day.
What is that?
Strawberry rhubarb. So rhubarb is like it's like a root, I think. And it goes good with strawberries and pie.
Rhubarb.
Maybe somebody can comment down below what rhubarb is.
What the hell is rhubarb?
What is rhubarb? Also, June 9th is also National Donald Duck Day, in case you're wanting some fowl. I heard Donald tastes good with a nice orange glaze. I don't know if that's true or not.
I ain't gonna try it. I'm really weird.
You don't like chicken?
Okay, this is duck. We're talking about duck.
First cousins, Katie. Come on.
Hey, now. I've held a duck, okay?
You've never held a chicken? Chick-fil-A, hello? Anyway, June 10th is National Frosted Cookie Day. Now, June 10th...
I'll be going and hitting up a crumble.
June 10th is we're going to have a spread because it's also Egg Roll Day, National Iced Tea Day. Yeah, we're having a nice meal. And we can write all about it because it's also National Ballpoint Pen Day, which, by the way, I've been practicing this for a week. It is really hard to say ballpoint pen.
Ballpoint pen.
All right,
That's like the pen pineapple apple pen.
You're a show off. That's it. We're muting her. All right, June 11th. We're gonna stay with the food because this is the United States after all. By the way, if you haven't watched it yet, head over to Paramount Plus, shameless plug, and watch the new South Park special about obesity. It's worth it. Anyway,
love South Park.
June 12th is National Peanut Butter Cookie Day.
Hey, wait, did you skip the 11th?
Dang, and nothing gets by Katie when it comes to food.
Well, I had a comment about one of them.
Okay, June 11th, she's right, we missed June 11th, is National Making Life Beautiful Day.
That's an important one.
It is. What do you think that means?
Well, what I would like to do that I can't do because I can't take care of things, like maybe going and buying, like, you know, some pretty plant to go plant out in the yard, anything, you know, just making life prettier. But Katie can't take care of nothing, so that ain't happening.
That's why she has all them fake
you know,
plants hanging from, what did we name him again? I forget. Horbert? Nerbert? What did we call him?
Pervert.
Pervert?
Probably Herbert.
So June 11th is also, if you can't make life beautiful, then you can dang sure have you some German chocolate cake. But
Jackson's food.
You have to have corn on the cob in there, too, because it's also National Corn on the Cob Day.
Man, I will mess some of that up. Make it like elotes, like an elote kern on the curb. Man, I'll throw that.
Whew. I'll tell you what, it's all about the food here. June 12th is National Peanut Butter Cookie Day, as I was saying earlier. I jumped the gun because that was my favorite one. I was like, I just want to sleep all day June 11th. As much as I like German chocolate cake, I'm probably going to hold my girlish figure for the peanut butter cookies. For sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm excited about the next one.
It's also National Jerky Day.
I might go ham on that.
Ham jerky. I see what you did there.
No. We ain't talking that. We ain't talking that. No.
Jackson, this one's for you. It's also National Red Rose Day. Make that shit happen. You give the roses to Katie, and then she will promptly kill them. June 13th is the last day of the week that we're talking about. And June 13th is National Kitchen Klutzes Day. Guys, I'm not making this up. Go look it up. It's Kitchen Klutzes Day on June 13th. Is that you? Okay, so you must have a kitchen klutz story then.
I can't do anything. Look, okay, there's this really funny picture.
I can't do anything.
I can't. This is why I have a fiance that can cook, and he's, man, if I didn't have him, I'd be starved and living like a hoarder on hoarders. That'd be me.
Oh my gosh.
Listen, so I'll have to let you know, I'll have to find the picture, but my story, one I just remember, and it's pretty funny. So you know when you buy like the brownie mix and you make brownies or cookies or whatever, how it has like, oh, here's another fun recipe. If you want to do this, you do this. Well, it was, okay, so the box was for brownies. The recipe in the corner was for cookies. So.
You mixed them?
I 2 whole sticks of butter in it. I was putting
oh my gosh.
All kinds of crap. And
Katie is a kitchen klutz. We've learned something new today.
And I have a picture of me. I had to like get rid of half of it. It was bad. But I have a picture of me like with the bowl and stirring it, acting like I didn't miss.
Yeah, you were all proud and shit and like messed it all up. Look at the bright side. Your day is coming. On June 13th, you can celebrate.
Those were jank.
Oh my God. June 13th is also National Weed Your Garden Day, and the vegetables are going to be very happy for that. Although,
Man, I'd be out there for hours.
although if you notice, there's not a whole lot of vegetables that are being celebrated this week. So it's all about the dessert in this country. June 13th is also National Sewing Machine Day. We're not eating that. Don't worry about it.
Hope not.
All right, so that's our national days of celebration for the week of June 7th to June 13th. That's something we're hopefully going to be doing on every episode of this show. Guys, if you're enjoying these new segments, please let us know your favorite segments down below. This episode is going to be a lot of fun for both of us because after we talk about our leading topics, we're going to play a little game before we do our main event topic this week, which is, of course, Billie Eilish. We're going to be talking in hopefully very good depth about Billie Eilish's brand new record, which is called Hard and Soft, right? Or the Hard and Soft Review. Hit Me Hard and Soft. Hit Me Hard and Soft is the name of it. But before we talk about that, let's talk about why howler monkeys are falling out of trees in the country of Mexico. The deaths of dozens of howler monkeys, I think 160 of them at last count, may be the latest sign of the danger that extreme temperatures pose to wildlife around the world. This is from the New York Times. Gilberto Pozo, who is a biologist, was monitoring a small forest in the town of Conduisan. Let's go. That's completely wrong. That is in southern Mexico, by the way.
To fool me.
I did the best I could if you're from there. Now, in early May, 2 mantled howler monkeys fell from a tree in front of the biologist and were literally dead at his feet. They were dehydrated, and they did receive treatment, but they did not survive. Now, at first, Dr. Pozo and his team at Cobius, which is a nonprofit conservation group, thought the monkeys had been overcome by smoke from wildfires that had been going nearby, but they did not have any smoke inhalation or anything like that in their lungs, and come to find out, it was the heat that killed the monkeys. At last count, as of Wednesday of last week, 147 monkeys have died in the states of Tabasco and Chiapas, which is in southern Mexico. This is sad, man. I like monkeys. They're
Very
cute.
Sad. I love monkeys. I've always been like a monkey gal. I have a good monkey impression, but I'm not doing it right now, and you're never going to hear it. But,
I mean, I don't recall a time in the past where things were falling out of trees dead.
That's what I was thinking earlier. Yeah, like, this is so extreme. And, I mean, it's hot. And, you know, we have had record-breaking stuff, but it's not even the hottest time of the year. Right. Not even in Mexico. Like, it's been so much hotter than it is now.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very bizarre.
And this just came out of nowhere as far as the heat goes for us here in Texas. I don't know about you. I know we're not that far apart, but it's like middle of May. It just went from, okay, we still have to use the heater at night to where is this humidity coming from? And it's
still humid.
Yeah, it's nutso. And we're not even talking about the crazy ass storms that have been happening all around us as well.
Yeah,
it's scary stuff, man. Scary stuff. Monkeys are not supposed to fall out of trees dead. I know that's not.
And I mean, also, especially the humidity thing. Like, it was like I know it was like in South Mexico, but it was like in like a tropical kind of area. It
was, yeah. It was in tropical forest. I don't know if what country it is that's right there on the border, but it was southern Mexico.
Regardless, they're used to it bad.
Of course, and these monkeys should they should be fine with heat. Like, Mexico is hot; it's a tropical environment, so.
Yep.
Hopefully they can figure out why this is happening, and I haven't heard anything more about it, so I don't know, maybe just the weak monkeys have, have gone, and all the strong ones are going to be fine. I don't know.
I'd be the first to go.
Probably me too, yeah.
I would just give up and fall.
I
Like, out of
mean,
just pure free will. Like,
take me away! All right, Katie, you're going to be in charge of our second topic tonight. What do you got?
So, we're going to be talking about, I feel this is very controversial, drag queens and drag shows, and really the, really free speech. So, I don't know how much you guys have been following it, or really if you guys have at all. It's kind of been going on it's been going on for over a year. I mean, like everything like in the works and everything. And in Tennessee, there is now the Tennessee Adult Entertainment Act. And it's also known as the Tennessee Drag Ban, which basically, let me read verbatim what it says because I don't want to get myself caught in some stupid crap. The act was vague in what it considered an adult cabaret performance, although it is defined as a male or female impersonators who provide entertainment that appeals to a, how do I say that word? Prurient interest? I know what word, I just don't know how to say it. It doesn't sound right in my mouth.
I don't even know where you're at, so you got this.
Anyway, but it's the first kind of act of its kind to ever be passed in the United States, and it was the first to be signed into law. It was signed last year in March, but also its status is halted at the moment. So we're kind of revisiting that. There's a lot going on with that.
Well, the good news is that a federal judge in Tennessee has ruled that it is unconstitutional to limit public drag show performances because it presents a, quote, unconstitutional restriction on the freedom of speech, unquote. And I'm just going to add in my own word for that, and that would be duh.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think it is funny. I also found another article that mentions that, but whatever side of the political party you are, Trump has even come forward and saying that, well, the Trump appointed federal judge, like, this is coming from like Republican, like right-wing stuff, like, and this is something that so many people of that category, I mean, especially in the government, are so far against. For everyone to be speaking up on this, and it still be in consideration is absolutely ridiculous to me. Everyone wants to talk about, like, it's out in the public, it's being shoved down our throats, whatever, any of that kind of stuff. But you have the option to go to this venue or whatever to go see this person. If you don't want to see this person, if you don't want to see drag queens, don't see them.
Well, to be fair, this is very dangerous legislation for a couple
very.
Yeah, for a couple of reasons, and it doesn't even really have to. It doesn't have to deal with drag.
Yep.
Because essentially, what it says, this law, which was passed into law with Tennessee Republicans who hold super majorities in both houses of their state legislature, as well as the governor's office. All of that that's what a super majority is, if you're not aware. But basically, this would bar all people. This would bar all people from. I'm looking for the right words here.
That's why I was reading it.
This would bar all people from adult cabaret performances on public property. It would threaten violators with a misdemeanor and repeat offenders with a felony. The ban specifically includes, and this is really, really important to understand why this is dangerous, quote, male or female impersonators, unquote. It bans those things. So
that, when you start, okay, whatever you want to talk about, politics, whatever side you're on, whatever your morals, beliefs, whatever are. If I sit here and tell you to shut up and you can't say anything you want, and it like you're gonna go get arrested if you start talking. I mean, insane.
Yeah.
And this, take out the topic at all. They are straight up making a law to where you cannot express yourself. Period.
Yep.
Period. End of day.
They are barring a certain group's freedom of expression. That's just the way it is. And as I was saying, the way this is written, with quote again, male or female impersonators unquote, that means somebody like Billie Eilish, who we'll be talking about in depth in a little while, who wears baggy clothes and tends to dress like a male at times, she would legitimately be breaking the law in the state of Tennessee just for wearing the clothes that she finds comfortable. Because all it would take is for a peace officer to feel like she was impersonating a male, and they could lock her up legally. That is some scary shit.
And then try it again and see what happens.
Right. Misdemeanor to felonies. Again, what I want people to try to do, it doesn't matter what side, like Katie said, it doesn't matter what side of this you're on. What you need to look at these laws that people are trying to pass, the people that we send to represent us are trying to pass. If you don't like drag queens, that's cool. That's your own opinion. But all you got to do is take out the words drag queens and just put any other group that you do agree with in there. And how would you feel if that group was stopped from being able to say their freedom of expression?
Absolutely insane. I mean, it's straight up like if someone was like, "Oh, you can't sing country, you can't sing rock." It's the same thing.
Yep.
The same thing. I mean, obviously one's like bigger than the other or whatever you want, but it's the same thing. Same context.
Well, I mean,
it's entertainment.
It is.
I mean,
and I'm going to keep it real. I'm 47 years old. I'll be 48 in December. I have never, in 47 years, ever seen a public drag show anywhere on public property. Every single time I've ever personally gone to a drag performance, it was in a bar with at least an 18-year-old entry fee or entry age. I've never, ever, 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 ever seen a drag performance that could possibly be attended by a child. I don't know about you, and I'm friends with quite a few people that, you know, are drag performers that are amazing human beings.
Absolutely.
Again, I've never been to a drag performance that could possibly have a child at it.
And I mean, I don't know. I don't. This is literally
and for the
like
record, I'm just going to throw this out there. For the record, I would be 100% against any person of any ilk of life trying to sexualize a child. Period.
Absolutely.
That would include drag queens. That would include the church. That would include politicians. That would include the law. That would include
celebrities,
schooling, celebrities, the Me Too movement, all of that. The sexualization of a child is not only illegal, but it is absolutely disgusting. Period.
It's vile.
Yep.
Vile.
There is no worse, in my opinion, there is no worse crime you can commit on any other person. Period.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
But that's that. That is definitely a controversial thing that is out there. Luckily, for all of us, whether we agree with it or not, it is unconstitutional. It will always be unconstitutional. And just because you don't like a group of people doesn't mean that that group of people doesn't have the same rights that you do.
Exactly. When you start saying, "Oh, I mean, that's insane to say." That's just as bad as like I mean, especially okay, kind of on the same subject, but like when gay marriage became a thing, like that's a right. You know what I mean? Like everyone has the right to get married. You know what I mean? Like
They
if you want to
should.
get married, you should,
They
exactly.
should. I mean, I
And
don't.
luckily now they can.
It's
But
just it's so hard to see people that are fighting for their own freedoms of everything, freedom of right, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom to bear
yep,
arms, freedom to assemble, freedom of press, all of the freedoms that we have.
yep.
It's really unfortunate, and that's probably not a strong enough word, to see people fighting so doggedly for their own rights, but they never stand up for somebody else's rights when they're trampled on.
Most of the time they never even stop to think about what it's like to be in their shoes.
Mm-hmm. And
Like
that's
to even
essentially
just
what it
stop and
boils
take a
down
second.
to, right there.
Like
Bingo.
say you watch a video, of some shit going down or whatever. Imagine being that person in that video.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even think about that. If you sat down and you thought about that, you would think about, like, you would have a completely different thought process on a million different things. Like, if you just sat down and put your feet in their shoes.
Well, the fact of the matter is most of the time when you're not getting along with somebody else, it's because one of you is not educated enough.
Yep, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, the end of the human race is going to boil down to one word, and that's ignorance.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway, like I said, it's good news. The law, every single drag related law that I have seen that's been attempted by one party over another to try to get them passed has been shot down by the courts. So I mean, it's fairly simple. If you try to take away someone's rights, that's unconstitutional. And
And
at least checks and balances are doing their job for the most part. And again,
and
Katie made a good point. Just one more thing, real quick, and I'll let you go. She made a very good point that it was indeed a Trump-appointed federal judge that shot this down as unconstitutional.
that's what I was getting at. The people that are most against it can even see, like, this ain't right. This ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
In any way. In any way.
And you just have to remember, if somebody you dislike's rights have been taken away, then yours have been as well.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. We all have
It's
the
not
same
just a law
rights.
for certain people.
Yep. Anyway, moving on to the next thing on our agenda this week. This is an interesting topic. This is also going to be more controversial than it should be, and this is something that gets my blood boiling a little bit, and that is the viability of gaming as a career.
Man, I'm so about it. I'm so about it.
20.
I
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You have facts. You Before I start giving my
2018,
opinion.
Katie may not even know this, in August of 2018, on the 12th of August in 2018, I decided to become a full-time gamer. And up until about probably January of this year, I was still streaming video games 150 to 200 hours a week, sometimes more than that. And we've done pretty well at it for the last almost 6 years. But it was funny. Katie came to me, I want to say a couple weeks ago when we were on 2 or 3 of this show and wanted to talk about gaming. And I was so excited that you brought that up because this right here is more of a hot button topic than it needs to be. And we should
It's
really
so
spend some time
weird.
on this. It is.
Like, okay, let me just start out by telling you my little history with gaming. So, mom, um, video games are a waste of time. I'm not letting you waste your time. So, and I mean, up until lately, like, and I mean, still lately, but like, I'll sit down and like, my mom will come over. Man, I watch gaming all day, all
Mm-hmm.
the time, because I'm just now starting to like get into it myself, and it's only because of Jackson. But I've always loved it. Even if I never played, I always watched it, and I've always loved gameplays and everything like that. And Even my mom, I remember she would like come in my room and she'd be watching it with me.
So I'm a big time sports fan. And
Yeah.
I love me some football and some baseball, and right now my Celtics are making a run at it, and by God, the Mavs are as well. So we'll see what that's about.
Stars.
Could be,
Let's
yeah,
go
that's right.
Stars.
Dallas Stars are doing well as well, but this could be a Boston versus Dallas NBA Finals this year.
Don't try. Okay, NBA basketball's cool and all, but as long as it ain't baseball, ha ha, or hockey.
My point, though, is this. My favorite game right now probably to play is a game called PUBG Battlegrounds. And I'm here to tell you, I have watched 4 or 5 straight years of the World Championship in PUBG. There is nothing that I have ever seen in my 48 years on this planet that is more exciting to me than watching 16 teams of 4 try to kill each other on the battlegrounds in PUBG. And I honestly, I challenge anybody out there to try to watch an esports tournament and not get invested in it. That's the first thing.
It's so funny because like people, speaking of sports, like people get so involved with sports. It's like an extracurricular. It is a waste of time. If you want to say it's a waste of time, it's a waste of time. Like, it's like you're just sitting there watching the TV. You know what I mean? And you're so like engulfed in it. I mean, if you want to talk shit about gaming, might as well talk shit about sports too. Just saying.
Or anything else. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything else. I mean, this is all about expectation. That's all it is. And the expectation in society is that if it's not like blue collar work, then it's not good enough. And that's just not fair because
that's kind of what I was getting at because like sports are so like normal and everybody's crazy about sports.
Well, it's like the terms influencer and digital creator, right? Those are two things that are getting bandied about a lot nowadays. But they are viable career paths. And honestly, it has nothing to do, honestly, with the game itself. What I have done for almost 6 years as a full-time content creator, a full-time influencer, a full-time digital creator, whatever you want to call it, I've been a bartender for 6 years, Katie. That's what my job has been. I've been a psychologist, a psychiatrist. I've been a shoulder to cry on. I have been somebody to talk to in the middle of the night when someone's depressed in Brazil. I've been the guy that's laughing with his friends and stopped somebody from committing suicide that I didn't even know that we were stopping committing suicide because he was a combat veteran. And we found out about this later from somebody else that he came into my channel one night and was going to put a gun in his and pull the trigger and wouldn't be here anymore. Came into my stream one night at like 3:30 in the morning, and all of us, me and my friends, were playing a game called Ark and laughing and having a good time. And for some reason, us just laughing like that stopped that man from pulling the trigger.
Okay, listen, you can't start doing stuff like that because I'm about to start crying.
This is just one true story of many that I have. That's very humbling when you're the creator that helped a man do that or not do that in this case. It's
absolutely
very humbling, and honestly, it's a reminder of why I have done it. But there are lots of different viable ways to make a living as or with gaming as part of your career. And there's streaming, which is what I've done.
Yeah.
There's developing games. There's esports, as I mentioned. Sponsorships in gaming is absolutely ridiculous. I've been a full partner with HyperX Gaming for almost 5 years. Never thought that would ever happen for me, but it did, and that's incredible stuff. Awesome. Advertisements, just ads playing on my videos when I'm live, and honestly, it's a tough thing to do. One of the hardest things I've ever done as far as, trying to make a living, for sure. And for a couple of reasons. One, you are fully dependent on other people having disposable income.
Yep.
And so when the world is going to shit and people are all struggling, then that means the content creators are going to struggle as well. That's the main thing.
Yep.
And the other thing that's always really been difficult for me personally is every single month you might make some money. You might do really well. I've had really good months. I've had really bad months. But every single month on the first, it goes back to zero.
Mm-hmm.
Your dollars and cents is zero, and you don't have a job, a regular job where you go into work and work 8 hours and you know how much you're going to get paid and you know how much taxes are going to be and all of that. I don't have that luxury. So I could stream 122 hours like we did this last month and make 75 cents an hour, which is what I did this last month. You know? And so it all depends on you being interesting enough for other people to want to invest in, and not just once, but repeatedly.
Yeah.
You know? And that's
Absolutely.
all, it all boils down to influencing people. And like the gentleman that didn't pull the trigger, we influenced him. Did I know I was doing that? Of course not.
No.
But
And
it
see,
happened.
that right there, I mean, I'm, you know, obviously I'm not in a game. I mean, I am in a gaming, but, you know, definitely not on your level. But as any entertainer, any influencer, any digital creator, that's really like not something you could hope for, but that you hope that you can make a change in somebody's life like that. Like that right there, personally, lifetime goal. Like
it is.
You know, it's so awesome to hear things like that, because you don't think about like what one simple little joke that might just make a simple little laugh, you know, for the first time in a week or the first time in 2 weeks, you know, or first time in a year.
It's like tonight, you know, finding out about my friend Connor, who I've never met in real life, may never get to meet him in real life, and finding out that his mom passed away today. And I'm going to show you this, and Connor will probably see this, but I'm going to show you this. In my building, I have a representation for my friend Connor in this building. He lives in Puerto Rico. I've never met him, but he's represented, and I'll show you. This is Connor's representation in my stream room. This is a stuffed hermit crab.
Uh-huh.
And the story behind that, if I'm correct, Connor, you can correct me in a comment. Go ahead.
He's gonna correct you.
Probably. He lives in Puerto Rico, and he finds hermit crabs all the time. And so he had this pet hermit crab that was supposed to die in like a week or two, and he had it for like months and months and months.
Aww.
And so when I saw that, I picked it up because I was like, okay, that'll be Connor's representation in my stream room. And so
I love that.
That's always on camera in here. Always. But yeah, gaming is 100% viable. And you don't have to be a good gamer to parlay it into a career. Trust me, because I'm not that good.
Honestly, okay. Since we're going to talk about gaming for a minute, I just like this year have like started like messing with gaming. Okay, you would think as a person that plays guitar, piano, all bullcrap, that I could, you know, coordination. No, no, not at all. So, but I love it. I do. I find like my games that like. Unfortunately, I really like story-based games.
There's nothing unfortunate about that. That's great.
Yeah, but it comes to an end. It's like
but see, the thing is once you finish a story game, there's another 400 story games out there waiting for you.
I have found, so I am very stubborn, and I'm very nitpicky. So like, if it doesn't like catch my eye, I'm not, which I need to be better about. But I am getting better about it. I am finding my little niche.
So the games I have liked the most in my career or in my time streaming have been the ones that I thought in a million years I would never like them.
Yeah, like what?
So I just streamed a game called Cat Quest.
Okay.
And Cat Quest.
And
go ahead.
That's the kind of crap I'm about.
Mm-hmm. Cat Quest is just a little RPG game with a little cat on the screen where you're slashing dragons and wyverns and other animals, and it's essentially an RPG, and it was fun as hell, bro. Like, I had some fun with it.
My biggest problem with gaming, I get so stressed out.
I do too. I think half of the people that follow me because of my stream is because I rage so much.
I feel like I am in the game. Like, this is my life. Yep. I don't care what you're saying to me. Everything goes out the window. And I'm like freaking out like I'm physically about to die. Like, physically about to die.
So
like,
you sound like my wife. Yeah, you sound like my wife when she's playing.
Yeah, so maybe we could do an episode of that. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. We should try it, maybe.
We should.
We'll do like a co-stream or something. That would be fun. All right, Katie. So Nicki Minaj was arrested. Tell us about it.
Okay, I've read a few things, and I have a few different opinions. So let's start out with the facts. Okay. Let's see if this will pop up. Maybe, please. God, I hate the New York Times because I don't have a subscription. Okay. Anyway, so Nicki Minaj got arrested in Amsterdam by the Dutch police in the middle of a concert. This one article from ABC News, she quotes that she claims that officials took her bags and searched them without consent. And all because she was in possession of drugs, which it was marijuana, right? It wasn't like heroin or crack cocaine or anything like that. But at the same time, they do not play with that stuff overseas. That is trafficking. You're overseas. And I mean, guarantee you, especially if she's on tour, she probably has quite a bit. So, and everything that's come out, like of her talking about it and stuff, it's pretty insensitive.
For sure.
I think that's a good way to put it. Like, I get it, it's annoying, and if it was like in the U.S., maybe be more mad about it. But you're going into other territories.
Mm-hmm. And that's where it comes down to this. Like, I feel like American entitlement and American nationalism is a huge problem with our celebrities especially, bro. Like, what do you mean that you think you are so above it all that the laws in another country are just supposed to bend to your way? I mean, first of all, I promise you without a frickin' shadow of a doubt, there is absolutely zero chance that Nicki Minaj knew the drug laws in the Netherlands.
Absolutely. And regardless, say in Amsterdam, everything's legal. Everything, every drug, whatever, say so, okay? Mm-hmm. You are still taking it across international waters. Don't know how much she had. Not a lot of, details have come out about it. But like I said, you're on tour. You're in other countries. You're overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guarantee you got quite an amount on you. And you're going internationally over waters into who knows how many countries she's carried it through.
Oh, all of them. She's done
exactly.
it in all of them. And that's the thing that gets me, right? Like, all of these people that we hear this about, they're almost always celebrities, and it's just weed, and if this happened in my state or my country, then this wouldn't happen.
Well, that's our state.
That's the thing, and that's what bothers me about it. They have this sense of entitlement because they're American, and I really think the nationalism of being an American has set these celebrities in such a way that they think they're untouchable from other countries.
There is a reason that not every country, but so many countries in the world hate America. Mm-hmm. And this is a great example of that.
Yeah, hate's a strong word, but I mean...
You know what I mean.
I know what you mean for sure. Like, we're not exactly respected in all walks of life. Yeah.
dislike
I mean,
America.
she's just extremely lucky that it was the Netherlands and not.
I also saw a quote. I'm not gonna quote it verbatim, but she said that she had to spend 5 to 6 hours in a jail cell.
Well,
Girl,
I think it might be time for Nicki to understand that you can't break the laws of another country just because you're an
not
American.
even that. That's still a break. Come on now. If I go out and I'm riding around my roads here in Texas or whatever, and I get caught with some weed, I'm at least gonna be in jail for a day.
Yeah, oh yeah,
probably.
Absolutely. Because
5
you're
or
not
6
Nicki
hours.
Minaj, Katie Lynn. Come on now, start rapping.
And look, not just that, you're in a different country.
And that's what gets me the most, and that's where you usually hear these stories. You know, they're trying to get on an airport. I mean, that's the dumb thing. What are you doing, bro?
Airplane.
Like, you're trying to go through security to get on an airplane with weed in a different country when you don't know anything about their laws.
Whether you want to say it or not, that's trafficking.
Yeah,
drugs.
she's extremely lucky to get off with what she got off with, and
yep.
Hopefully
and
she learned something from this, and she probably didn't, but hopefully she did.
No, she didn't. She hold on.
She actually complained about this.
She's bitching about it. Look,
about her bags being searched without consent. I mean,
not just that. This is a quote from Twitter X that she posted to her followers. It says, "Now they said they found weed, and that other group of people have come here to weigh the pre-rolls. Keep in mind, they took my bags without consent. My security has already advised them. Those pre-rolls belong to them. Oh, yeah, and the pilot wants me to take my Instagram post down."
And so not only is she complaining about her bags being searched without consent, but she's throwing her security under the bus. It was the security that was holding the pre-rolls, not her.
And then she's bitching because the pilot's asking her to take it down, like take the post down.
Yeah.
Like, he's trafficking too, and he don't even know it. Like,
oh my God, it's just crazy. I had to talk about that. One more thing before we move on to a funny new segment that's going to be all chance and all fun. This just in, Hallmark Channel, Katie doesn't know about this yet. This is kind of sad. Hallmark Channel actress Mamie Laverock is on life support after a 5-story fall from a balcony in Vancouver.
I've heard about that.
Okay, Mamie Laverock is best known for her recurring role as a nursing student named Rosaline Sullivan on the Hallmark Channel series When Calls the Heart, according to People. Her family has explained that she has already spent 2 weeks in intensive treatment in the hospital due to a medical emergency when she fell from the balcony on May 26th recently.
That's so scary.
So apparently she's been dealing with some treatment on something, and this, to me, sounds like it might have been a self-harm thing. I hope not, but it sounds that way.
I really hope not. Immediately what goes to my brain, but like I said, putting yourself in other people's shoes. I have seizures, so I immediately think if I have a seizure on a balcony on the 5th floor, that could easily be me.
Yeah, that's very scary.
I'm thinking that. But also, I do get what you're saying too. I hope not, but also plausible for sure.
All right, so this next segment is going to be one of the two of us playing games. Now, Katie, the way this is going to work is each and every episode, I have 3 different spinning wheels that we're going to spin. The first wheel has my name and your name on it. Okay, so it's going to pick one of the two of us. Whichever one it picks, I will spin the second wheel, which is going to have the 5 different games on the wheel. Mm-hmm. And then the third wheel will have all the different topics that have been suggested by our viewers. So the way it'll work, I'll spin the first one. We'll find out which of the two of us is going to be playing the game. The second spin will be what game we're playing. And the third spin will be what topic or topics we have to talk about. Okay?
Let's get at it.
All right, now the way this is going to work, one of us could be extremely lucky or extremely unlucky. Because every single week we're going to re-spin. So you could end up doing it 9 weeks in a row for all we know. It's going to be completely by chance, okay?
Regardless, it's going to be some good fun.
All right, so we're going to spin the wheel the first time. Let me get this set up. This is my first time trying this, so let's get this spinner-rooney going. So here's our first wheel, you guys. You'll see that the red is my part of it and the blue is Katie's part of it. Katie cannot see this, so
I can't see it.
y'all make sure you keep me honest out there. Here goes our first roll. And the first person playing the game is actually Katie Lynn. GG. So there's that. Now the second wheel is going to be what game she is going to be playing. And I'm going to describe how you play the game after we spin the wheel. So here are the 5 choices. We have Think About It, Don't Get Me Started, Ah Yes, Illuminati, and World's Greatest Expert. Here we go. And so in our first week of playing games, Katie Lynn will be talking. She will be the world's greatest expert.
This is so perfect for me.
Now the way world's greatest expert works, everybody, is I will give her a topic, and Katie Lynn has to give a false lecture about that topic, while the other host, which would be me, asks her questions. So here we go. Here are all of our topics. I'm
about to be Theo Vaughn.
There are 38 different topics here. All of these topics were chosen by our viewers. And I'm spinning the wheel right now, Katie.
And I can't see it, so.
I know you can't. Katie Lynn is the world's greatest expert on spoons.
On what?
Spoons. Like not forks, but spoons.
Spoons.
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
So I don't know if you know this, but I'm already starting bullshit. I don't know if you know this, but the original design for a spoon was flat. More like a shovel. Not a shovel, but like, I deliver pizza. So I'm thinking the thing would get the pizza out of the oven. That's basically a bigger version of it. It was normally just like flat. So you just shovel food into your mouth. But back in the 1800s, I believe it was 1821, they decided that they were going to hammer in the divot to actually hold better. Because, people were having issues trying to eat or whatever and, snorting food or something because, sliding all over the place.
So originally it was meant to just go into the nose?
No, but there was no, it couldn't hold anything. So, it ended up, falling out of her mouth or, that was exaggerated. But, it just wasn't efficient. So, in 1821, they decided, we should make it more of a divot. And with the invention of the spoon became the invention of soup.
Nice.
I don't know if you knew that. Back in 1821, when it became the divot, because... they looked at the bowls.
So wait, the spoons and the soup both came out in 1821?
That's when they created the divot, was in 1821.
Oh.
They originally came out with the shovel, and I believe it was 1783.
Wow, okay, so...
Yeah, so way back in the day.
So we just had a flat, divotless spoon.
Yep, it was like this with a handle.
Whew.
And when they created the divot, it's because they took a closer look at bowls. They were like, look how good them things hold shit. Like
the bowls.
These spoons, these spoons ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
We need to fix that. So they created the divot, and then with that they were like, we can put shit in the bowls, and then we can have a mini bowl to
So the mini bowl was the divot full spoon. And then somebody was like, yo, we should make soup next, right?
That's how they created soup.
Amazing. I did not know that. Incredible. Incredible stuff. Very good job, Katie Lynn. Very good job.
I told you I'm the world's greatest bullshitter.
So that is our first game on the show. And again, guys, that's going to work every single week. We're going to do that. We're going to spin all 3 wheels. Maybe Katie will go again next week. Maybe it'll be my turn. Who knows? It's going to be all completely luck-filled fun. If you guys want to add topics to our wheel, all you got to do is email us at thechrisandkadieshow@gmail.com. And in fact, I do have a question that came in this week from our social media. It comes from my mom, Deborah Barnes. She wants to know, as a kid, can you tell us some funny stuff that happened to you when you were a kid?
I have a lot of funny stories. Okay. So, just as a general rule of thumb, I was a little shit kid. It's a rule of thumb. I started singing at a really young age, and I was always on stages and stuff, so I thought I was some hot shit. And, man, there's a video of it too. You should look it up on YouTube. It's me singing at the Arlington Music Hall. Okay, when Michael Hicks was over it and everything. I don't know if you know anything about that, but there's a video of me. I believe I was 8 years old. Okay, and he's out in front of the stage, like talking and everything, like a host would, and about to introduce me, and he's talking about me and my little shit ass. They got me in the back. Not in the back, but like I'm flush with the band, kind of. So they already have me set up. They just don't have me a spotlight on it. And my mic is on. Mistake. So I'm like, hey, Michael. And he was like, what? And it became a whole thing. I don't remember all about it, but then there became really the rule of thumb that you don't give Katie a mic unless she's singing.
Only when she's singing. I'm here to tell you, when Katie interviewed me on my last project, the ETX Rock Show, we were at the studio and Lynn was not there to sing. And that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of takes.
Hey, how long ago was that? I'm an adult now.
Okay. I mean, loosely.
I can still play that card. Not for much longer, but I can still play it.
True that. All right, we have come to our main event of the week. And so last week we talked about Taylor Swift and her new album, which was called The Tortured Poets Department.
Yeah.
And this week we are talking about Billie Eilish and her brand new album, again, which is called Hit Me Hard and Soft. And I was called out last week for not doing my research.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember calling me out because you did better research on Taylor Swift than I did?
Yes, I did. So
I'm ready this time.
Okay, you're gonna be more ready than I. So we talked the previous week before last week when we initially talked about the Taylor Swift thing. So that had already been in my brain for a couple weeks. Also, I cannot stop. I don't know if you actually took a look. The Black Dog by Taylor Swift. Favorite. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. If you haven't listened to it, like I texted you and told you to, you should. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm so caught up in the Taylor Swift shit. I am in love with Billie Eilish, and I didn't even realize this happened.
Yeah, me too.
Like, what is wrong with me? I'm very disappointed in myself. Very, very. I just now, this week, have listened to it. And
are we talking about the new record or Billie in general?
The new record.
Okay.
No, I've been listening to Billie since Billie's been a thing.
I figured. See, that's you're way ahead of me then.
But
because
also,
I was just introduced to her like maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Yeah, I know.
So, okay. So being a person that's been listening to her for a long time, I'm a very stubborn individual. And me being like, well, I'm my age, but I'm not like anyone my age. I don't have TikTok. I don't have this. Mm-hmm. So I just don't like getting all sucked up into like everything that's trending and all that kind of stuff. Because I do easily get sucked up into it. So I kind of stay out of it.
Yeah.
And I hear people talking about stuff, and I was like, oh my God, everyone needs to shut the hell up about Billie Eilish. And then I finally went and listened, and I was like, I get it now.
Yeah.
But that was still when Ocean Eyes came out. That was, God, when was that? Pre-COVID. So it was a while ago.
So there's a whole bunch of things to talk about here, man.
Mhm.
So first of all, I understand the dislike in Billie Eilish.
I do.
I get it. I understand. She's not everybody's cup of tea, for sure, and I understand
But
that.
she's a lot of people's cup of tea.
She is a whole lot of people's cup of tea. And honestly, I'm going to keep it real. If you are a parent on this planet, Billie Eilish should be your cup of tea. And I'm going to tell you why. Because as a father, I have 3 biological children. I have 3 stepchildren. Some of my children are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, which is why I'm an ally and will always be an ally. Proud ally. That's why I got the proud right there. It's also why I have the you are enough right there. All of that's backwards. I'm sorry you guys can't see that. I'm hoping to fix that soon, by the way. But as a parent, especially as an LGBTQI parent, Billie Eilish is absolutely needed.
Absolutely.
Because she is letting people know that it's okay to be who you are. And as a parent, that's important to me, whether my kids are LGBT or not, because I want my children to know that it's okay to be whoever they want to be, whatever they want to be. And
absolutely. And however the way they want to do it.
That's right. And it should be that way for everybody. There shouldn't this shouldn't be a thing anymore, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I will be the first person to say that Billie Eilish has absolutely pushed the agenda a little bit further with this record than the last record. Now, Billie Eilish, absolutely.
Than any, yeah.
Billie Eilish has in the past been very vocally in heterosexual relationships rather. She has had boyfriends. She has had girlfriends. And a lot of people don't like the fact that she is living her life in public.
No one does. So, okay, I just Googled it. I started listening to her in 2016.
Yeah, you got me beat. You got me beat by a lot. For me, there's a whole lot of dislike out there, even for people that are okay with the LGBT stuff, those kind of messages. Because she is a queer hero, for sure. She is 100% a hero for them.
She's a female hero.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I agree. 100%. As is Taylor Swift, by the way.
Absolutely. What drew me to Billie? The way she dresses.
Same.
And how much shit she gets for it. And
her age. She gets so much shit for her age.
And I think it's so funny. We talked about sexualizing a child, right? Being at that age, getting famous, being an entertainer. It's just what happens, unfortunately. It does. Go look at any Disney star. Go look at Miley. Go look at all these people that were sexualized as a child, whether you realize it or not. Go look at what they're wearing.
Britney Spears.
Go look at what they're wearing. Go look at the amount of makeup they have on. Go look at all these things. Billie has always been out in front, forward, saying, F that.
Yep.
F that.
I love how she takes expectations and just throws them out the window. I love that very much about her.
And she has always been here for pure talent. You cannot say, oh, she's a female, she's hot, she's got this, this is why she's famous. No. And then I remember, this wasn't that long ago, there was this she posted, she was in some ocean with her friends and stuff, and she had a picture, she was wearing a swimsuit. Her tits weren't out, but you could see them, and people slut shamed her for it.
Absolutely.
So hard.
And then the whole time when she's wearing her baggy clothes and all of that stuff, she's getting male hate for, oh, if you want to be a boy, then be a boy or whatever. What do you mean? And this is why when we talked about the stupid ass laws that are being put out there from earlier in the show, when we talked about that, that's why those kind of laws are dangerous. Because those kind of laws are trying to tell people like Billie Eilish what they should wear. They're trying to tell us, all of us, what we should wear. Imagine if we are ever living in a world or a country where it is illegal to wear something specific. That would be, whew.
Man, I'm so stubborn and such a little
Same.
shit. I would get arrested immediately.
Well, you remember we talked about James McMurtry a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
who protested that very Tennessee law that we were talking about by performing in public with a dress on while his compadre was wearing a suit, Betty Sue. That was in episode 3, I think. You guys can look that up.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'll just put it somewhere on the screen here or whatever right now. I'm sure we can figure that out. But that was very apt when we were talking about that a few weeks ago. But yeah, let's get into the record because this record is interesting. As a fan of Billie Eilish, there's a lot that I like in this record, but there's actually some things that I'm not a real big fan of. And
we'll get back to.
And my wife will be surprised about this because I'm usually pretty vocally in favor of shouting it from the rooftops. But in this record, there's a lot of shouting it from the rooftops. But sometimes what you shout you have to be careful with what you shout sometimes.
I agree. I will say I didn't delve as deep as I did with Taylor Swift, but also Taylor Swift had 31 songs, and this is what
10.
8?
This is 10.
10. Okay. 10. Okay. So, do you want to start or me?
Let's go with you first. What's your favorite song on the record? We'll go with favorite songs first.
So I don't know how to say it. The French one, "Love of My Life" thing.
L'amour de ma vie.
L'amour de ma vie. I took a year of French. No, do not hold that to me. Also, I find it funny because I've been in love with LOML, "Love of My Life" by Taylor Swift. So I thought that was funny that these songs are not similar, but they touch on love of your life kind of thing. But I love that song. I do. And Billie, what I've always loved about Billie, and I don't know, so you don't know the, for lack of better words, folklore on Billie. So do you know about her brother Phineas?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so you know that they have always been like co-writers. They write everything together.
Yep.
I don't know if you've listened to his stuff. It's like guy version of Billie. It's so amazing. Love it, love it, love it. All the way around. So shout out to Phineas too. PH, if you want to look it up. Phineas, not F. So I love that. And they are both amazing writers. And when they come together, it's just like, it's magic.
Man, the movie songs, bro. Like the songs they did for the movies. Oh my gosh.
I mean, What Was I Made For?
Yes.
For Barbie.
No Time to Die.
That one too. And then there was what's that one? It was from a movie I didn't see. When I Was Older. Mm-hmm. That song. It's from, I don't remember what movie it's from. I love that song.
And these are extremely, extremely young songwriters.
What I really love that I think brings a whole different kind of magic to her music is that it's I mean, obviously there's other people involved, but it's really just her and her brother. Like, he produces everything.
Yep.
Like, they probably send it to master, whatever, get other people's opinions, whatever, but it's pure magic. They sit down in a room, in a little studio, in a little bedroom, whatever. They sit down, he plays piano, she sings, they record, they bounce ideas off each other, and it's just pure magic. Really, everything that they create.
It's all born in trust as well. And
Absolutely.
You can see it when they
hear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what song. I think it was "No Time to Die" when they played, maybe at the Grammys, and he played piano for her. I don't know. It was some award show, and it was when "No Time to Die" came out, and they performed it, and he played piano, and it was just incredible.
And that's the other thing about Billie is how amazing she is live. Like,
I think what's so awesome about them is it's so organic and natural, and it just flows. I mean, we kind of talked about it on Taylor Swift, like some of it just kind of fell flat for me. Like some of it just didn't jive, you know, or anything like that. Whether you like the songs or not, you know, I have songs that I'm like, on, you know, you're always going to have that. But I feel like every song just flows. And it's just,
I agree to an extent, except for a couple of them. And I will definitely get in on that.
This album is a different story to me.
I agree. But I think this is just the beginning of the story, though. I think there's a veiled sneak peek on what's to come. And I think that's why there's only 10 songs on this record. And I'll get into that at the end. But let's talk about your favorite song, L'amour de ma vie. And
so okay, for all you audience out there, we go off our Google Doc, right? Obviously you did so much damn research. I love this. I'm going to take it in your words. So this is me speaking, but these are Boston's words. Boston Chris, Mr. Chris. I gotta start calling you Chris. I'm so used to calling you Boston, but this is the Chris and Kadie Show. Chris and Kadie Show. So this song, I like the way you put it too. It means love your life, and it's an amazing song, and it's about being so happy and relieved that you have this relationship off your shoulders, that it's finally over.
You finally got yourself free of it.
No, okay, people talk about that, like, that's a subjective song people touch on, but not in this kind of way. They just don't. I don't feel like there's another song that's really like, this is a different perspective. Not just a different perspective, the points that it hits, because there's so many different topics in song. There's love songs, breakup songs, blah, 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 blah. But then you start really dissecting it and talking about the perspectives and, like, what really topic. Because we can sit here and we can talk about Billie Eilish. I can sit here and talk about her wardrobe and all that kind of stuff. There's always subtopics, all that kind of crap. But when you sit down and you think about what this song stands for and the points that it makes, there's hardly any songs that really touch on that.
Yeah.
That I can really do.
And what I love about this particular song is it's got two different parts in it. And the beginning of the song is a power ballad. It really truly is. And you can feel her struggling so hard during the ballad portion of the song to break free of what she's talking about.
With her music, what I love about her voice and her music, you can just close your eyes and, like, envision. What I envision during the beginning of this song, I feel like I'm stuck at the bottom of the ocean. I'm trying so hard to swim to the surface.
And you just want to try to help. You want to try to help the artist get to where she's going. And God, it's so well done in this specific song. But then you get to part 2. And she's broken free of the chains of the relationship. And, of course, once you have broken free, you can't be a sad power ballad anymore. So what does the song do? It doesn't morph into a different song. It doesn't create a new forward movement to a different track. No. It's the same song, which picks up beat. It becomes an upbeat dance song at the end of the same track, and it's just so uplifting because you can feel her freedom at the end of the song when it becomes upbeat.
This is off topic, but it kind of gives me the same vibe as I hate knowing all these songs, not knowing the names. You call me again, drunken. I can sing you the whole song. I just can't think of the name.
It's Happier Than You or something like that.
Happier Than Ever.
Yeah, there it is.
That kind of gives me those vibes. I mean, it doesn't change drastically like that, but it's like a whole different song, and you're like, holy crap.
But she's done that multiple times within this record, where you've only got 10 tracks on the record, but it feels like more. Because the songs are they're regimented in such a way that you're just on a voyage. Really, I mean, and it's like I said earlier, the only thing I don't like about this record is the voyage that the writer of the album is trying to take me on feels very disjointed to me. It feels like there's songs missing to me.
It feels like it's less, for me, it feels like it's less organic and more thought out. And I don't like, I mean, for her, I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
For her style of music and what she's always done. Now, I love changing your sound and all that kind of stuff, but this feels like what I tried to say about Taylor Swift last week. Not a flop. It just feels try hard and coming up a little lackey.
Well,
you know
for
what I mean?
me, it feels to me
only a few spots in certain songs.
Like with Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish now, it feels to me like these songwriters, and boy, you know what? I'm a huge songwriter fan. You know that. But this is going to be hard for me to say because I've spoken to a lot of songwriters, and I've been very blessed to do so. For me, with Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, who I am immense fans of both as songwriters, they're both remarkably talented, uber talented, otherworldly. However, with these two records, as much of a fan as I am, I feel like they're spending too much time writing about outside noise.
Yep.
And I feel like by doing so, perhaps the message they should be trying to send to us, which is here in this record,
gets a little bit lost.
Gets lost because of the other bullshit that's being talked about in other tracks. And it starts out with the very first two songs, and this is why I feel a little disjointed. The first song is called Skinny, and this is a body-shaming song in reverse. It's basically her as the writer calling out other people for trying to shame her into being whatever the hell it is that they want her to be. And she has every single right to write about that. She does. But as a consumer, if you write about that and that's the first thing you want me to hear on your record, then that's the vibe you're sending right away.
Exactly. That gives, like, not female power trip, but like strong, independent woman, F you kind of attitude.
Which I am all about.
That's what that gives.
I'm all about that.
For the next song, and it kind of gives that vibe.
It's the same thing with a different message, and that's where we're going with this. The second song, which, by the way, is going to be a revolutionary song. We are going to be hearing about this song in 25, 30 years.
Not.
Yes.
Yep.
Because this song right here is going to change the shape of radio forever, and a lot of people are not going to like it.
Nope.
Just throwing that out there. But the second song and current single is a song called Lunch. And Lunch is probably Billie Eilish's most bold statement yet. Yep. This song is likening lesbian sex to an afternoon meal. Billie discusses both her sexual prowess and her desire to be with an unnamed woman in this song. And I like the song. I like her boldness in the song. I like the first song. I just don't like the voyage she's trying to take me on at first.
I will say, I heard Lunch, and I knew what it was about. I had high expectations, you know, as one does, especially a person like I. And I enjoyed it, but there was, like, parts in the lyrics or, like, parts of the songs where I was like...
Yeah.
Like, that could have been done a bit. Like, you could have figured out something else to say right there that rhymed, or it hit the point. But for Billie, in all the past records and all the past singles, everything that she's ever done, it's always been so natural and so deep and so thought about and everything like that. And there's still, like, Billie, she's always, you know, like, she has these, like, more upbeat songs and all that kind of stuff that's more lighthearted. This isn't lighthearted, but, you know, it's not like super depressing breakup.
The first two are not lighthearted. The first two, in my opinion, are a political statement to the haters out there. And then you get to track 3, right? And now it's like she's saying, okay, now that I've got that off my chest, let's talk about the shit that matters. That's what it feels like to me from track 3 to track 9. By the way, I think the 10th track on this record is by far the worst song on the album. That one's called Blue. And that's the Easter egg that I want to talk about a little bit later.
I agree on that.
But from 3 to 9, that's this record, in my opinion. 1, 2, and 10, I could do without them. And 1 and 2 are great songs. I think they're both good songs.
They need to be singles.
I was going to say, I don't think they need to be on this record. Like, those 2 songs feel like they should be somewhere else.
Why I say singles is, like you said, they're huge statement pieces, and they're very controversial and a little bit political. So as a single, if you released Lunch as a single and didn't release shit else, that would do so good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And Lunch has like 40-something million views on YouTube. I didn't check Spotify.
Already.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, they could have done, I feel like, better on their own or on a different album than this one.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would have made more sense.
So the third song, I'm just going to go through the tracks and kind of talk about my notes, and you can add whatever you'd like to add along the way if you'd like. The third song, I think it's pronounced Chihiro, and this is based off of an Oscar-winning film called Spirited Away. It's based off a character from that film. And what I love about this song is the ambiguous nature of the lyrics. I love listening to a song that has multiple meanings from the songwriter. And you can take it however way you want. Exactly. I love that. And there's a lot of that in this record. And it starts with Chihiro, if that's how you say it. And that's why,
I don't know how to say it.
That's why I feel like the record started at number 3. Because that's where the songwriting started, in my opinion.
That's where I feel like Billie comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's when it starts feeling like this is her album.
Mm-hmm. And track 4, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it sounds really radio, and I don't feel like she's ever cared about that.
No,
you know
she
what I'm
hasn't.
saying? So I think that's where the jarring part is for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, track 4 is actually my favorite song on the record. It's called Birds of a Feather. And what I love about this record, or this song in particular, is it talks about a lasting love, a love that lasts forever until death. And that's what she's talking about in the record. She states that it's a strong bond that will stay strong, even when things get tough, and how she wants to be with her partner forever. And I love that message because typically you don't get that kind of context from a pop song. It doesn't normally happen like that. And I love that.
That's what I was kind of touching on earlier. That's why I love Billie so much. She takes these regular topics and then these subtopics, and then she makes them so much more. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It feels like everything she does, even though, I mean, this album is a little bit of a different story, and we'll get to that later, but up until now, it feels like everything that she has done has been so... There's so many songwriters and everything, but it just feels so original. It does. Really, it's always been about her perspective. But
honestly, at times, as a composer, her and Phineas together in this record, it feels to me like they're showing off, and I frickin' love that. I love when a composer has the confidence to know they're a badass. And they can get away with things that normal folks are not going to get away with. A la Lennon McCartney from the 60s and 70s, right? Mm-hmm. Now we have a new songwriting duo that's changing the world with loops and sounds and inflections with voice and
you got me itching to go listen now. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I do that to people at times. Wildflower, which is the 5th track, and an absolutely gorgeous song. I like this song a lot because it's from the perspective of somebody you don't normally hear from in a song. And that is, we have a love triangle in this song, and it is a bisexual love triangle. It is told from the perspective of a girl, Billie Eilish in this case, who is consoling another girl who has been dumped by a guy that the perspective of the song ends up with in the song.
Mhm.
So in other words, the girl gets cheated on by the girl that is consoling her. Just
Man, and again, this is why I love Billie Eilish so much. And we keep saying Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish, but at the end of the day, it's her and Phineas.
yes,
These are her
absolutely.
ideas, but I mean, him and her, they are a partnership. She has the voice and she is the face, but I believe he is just as much just as much as involved as she is.
I think she would say probably even more so.
I would say so too.
This song here, Wildflower, really, really shows off her storytelling ability.
Absolutely.
So masterful. And you're in a perspective in a song. I've listened to songs a long time. I can't tell you I've ever been in the shoes of a person in this perspective. And she makes it work.
And I love, okay, have you ever listened to Phineas's music?
I haven't, but
Just
I
for
will be.
further.
I will be.
You should. I encourage anyone that likes Billie or that's listening to this podcast and has listened to the album to go listen to, I mean, you can listen to Break My Heart Again or that album that song's on. That whole album is just amazing. And if it's only him playing piano. I mean, obviously, you know, he's a producer too, so he produces some stuff on top of it. But it's very raw. And if you go listen to that, I mean, you can. I started listening to his stuff, and then going back and listening to her stuff. It's just like, this is Phineas with her touches on top, and like her. I have a feeling that it's like he does like 2/3, and she does like a third.
Probably.
But if you go listen to his stuff, it's so insane. It's just like, oh, okay, I get how this works now.
So just real quick, is there anybody out there, my son's going to hate that I say this, because he's not a fan of Billie Eilish, okay?
Okay.
There are people out there not a fan, believe me.
No, I know.
My son is one.
My
But
husband is one.
he does not believe in her vocal ability. And I, on the other hand, I will fight this until I die. I feel like Billie Eilish is one of the few vocalists out there that is actually using her voice as an instrument.
I agree. But at the end of the day, I can understand why he would say so.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson says the same thing. She has her range, she has her sound. What she is usually saying is a very small range, but this album shows off a lot more, I will say, with production and vocals.
I absolutely think this record is a message to those who don't think she has vocal ability, because she is openly showing those people that they're wrong during many different places in this record.
Like, I love No Time to Die. When I heard No Time to Die, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an interview out there. I don't know which one it is. You guys might have to find it, but it's got Billie and Phineas in it, and they're talking about. It's not even really an interview, I don't think. I think they're just there together talking about the production of the Barbie song. What Was I Made For? And just listening to Billie describe the different things she does with her voice to get to the tones and things that she's wanting to get to is just interesting to me.
And okay, this is complete. Okay, it goes hand in hand, but on complete flip side of the coin, if you want to take Billie Eilish, everyone's like, well, she's not that great of a vocalist, but she does a lot of stylistic things. You take Jonathan Davis, everyone thinks he's a shit vocalist, but he does so many things. You know who Jonathan Davis is?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. For those who don't know, vocalist of Korn. Everyone's like, he sucks. He sounds like shit. There is so many things that he does that you don't realize he's doing that is so high above most people's pay grade. Same thing with Billie.
Exactly. The things you don't hear at a concert because she's not able to do all of them at once at the concert. Yep. Right? The greatest. Go ahead. Too. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. The greatest is the 6th song on the record. This is a really cool song, too, because personally speaking, I have lived this song. I know a lot of other people who have lived this song as well. This song, again, it's called The Greatest. It's tongue-in-cheek. When she is calling herself the greatest in this song. Am I the greatest? She says repeatedly in the song. It is tongue-in-cheek. It is sarcastic self-reflection. She's not calling herself the greatest. She's saying she must be the greatest because of what she is dealing with. And I'll get into that after Kadie talks.
This song is so magic to me. I think we talked about Taylor last week, and I keep bringing her up, but I think a thing that they have in common is being able to sound so human and to be able to relate to you on such a level to where I don't feel like many artists can do, myself included. And I'm a small artist. I don't feel like when you listen to these songs, you feel like they just sat there and listened to your life and wrote the song for you.
Mm-hmm.
That really is how these songs feel. And I feel like the greatest, I listened to this song and I cried. A little baby.
Man,
like,
I'll tell you, the song is essentially
perspective that people don't think about.
Yep.
Another perspective.
The song is from the perspectives of somebody who's in a relationship, and the person is giving everything they can possibly give in this relationship, always sacrificing, always doing what their significant other wants from them, always, whatever it is, just to always, taking their side and not her own, and just the extreme lack of reciprocation in a relationship. She's basically a slave to whoever it is she's with. Yeah. And that kind of self-sacrifice, that kind of always giving and never getting, is a major deterring factor in many relationships.
That right there, people don't realize this song is different, but just a little PSA kind of on the same topic. When you start getting into this territory, people don't realize it, but that's pretty damn close to abuse.
Yep.
That's neglect.
It is.
That feeling right there, people listen to it like, yeah, I can relate. You take yourself back into that time where you can relate. If you had that song during that time, man, how things would have changed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this kind of song, to me, not necessarily revolutionary, but it really makes you stop and think about, like, your whole life. Really, not just necessarily, for me, and not necessarily a relationship perspective, but, like, everything. Like, you're always trying so hard for everybody else and you neglect yourself.
Not to mention, can we, I'm going to say this repeatedly, but can we, again, just remind ourselves that this is a pop record?
Yep. And how old is she?
Right. What, 20, 21, 22, something like that?
My age.
That's freaking dumb. All right, so we talked about L'amour de ma vie. We don't have to talk about that any further, although I do want to reiterate that L'amour de ma vie is a perfect example of her, I think, purposely showcasing her vocals to basically say, you know what? Yeah, I got skill, bro. I know.
That's another reason why this is my favorite.
Yep.
Off album.
All right, so the 8th track is, again, very much like the first 2 tracks, in which it's a song that doesn't seem to really belong. It's a very cool song. I think the track is dope. I think the message of the song is creepy as fuck.
I love it.
I love the song, too. Much like the first 2, I love the first 2 songs. But I'm just trying to figure out the placement here.
I know. This song, okay. I so much agree on that. So I sat down while I was at work today. I deliver pizza as one of my jobs. So as I'm just driving around today, I just started at the top, listened all the way through. Normally, I'm that kind of person. I'll skip around. I'll go on Spotify or, whatever y'all listen to music on, and just, like, look at all the titles of the songs or all the names of the songs, and I'm like, oh, that one sounds interesting. And only listen to that one or, like, listen to them sporadically. But normal consumers, and how it's always been over the years, of music, you get your little vinyl or you get your cassette tape or CD or everything that's always been music. You start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that because I'm ADD, ADHD, whatever, but when you really sit down and listen to it top to bottom, a lot of these songs, like the first two and this one, do seem misplaced. They do. They seem really, they don't flow good together, especially after L'amour de ma vie. Like, it's so different. So different and kind of jarring. Mildly jarring, which is cool. Like, if I was to, as a person that plays, like, live shows, you know what I mean? You want to have, like, oh, you play a fast song here, and the next song you're going to play ballad.
Yep.
You want to have the
balance.
Exactly. But in this album, it's
not there. It's not there. It's just not there.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I'm old school, and I know you are to some extent too. Like, as an old school music consumer, we are all, I mean, we've been conditioned that a record is a story, and
so
you go from
the beginning and listen all the way to the end.
That's right, and that's the way records were back when vinyl was a big thing. It's a big thing again, which I love.
I love it too.
That's why vinyl was so big, is because you would just put the needle down, and wherever the groove took you is where the groove took you. But
when we're done, I'm breaking out my vinyls.
But I don't understand this record, because it's like she just thumbed her nose at forward movement on the record, and it just feels like a collection of different songs rather than an album.
So this gives me, in a lot more extent, but we talked about Taylor Swift last week. I keep bringing this up, but they're two very similar artists, and they're two huge artists, you know, at the time, and they released two albums very close to each other. And I mildly said this with Taylor, but it feels like a dump. But with Taylor, it's 31 songs. And that's valid. But most of the songs, I mean, it's just, I mean, we talked about last week, y'all know. But with this, it's 10 songs. It doesn't feel coherent. It just doesn't. There's parts that, all the songs are great. Period. End of story. Like we said,
except the 10th one. The 10th song is not great. We'll get into that, though. We'll get into it.
About that. I didn't even listen to the whole thing entirely.
I couldn't.
Entirely.
Yeah, I
couldn't either. We'll get there in a second.
Yep.
But with Taylor, really the thing it's just, it felt like it wasn't, not that it wasn't coherent, but like it wasn't worked on as much as I would have liked. This, it's like, this is, okay, random kind of comparison. This is like if, say, I had one person start my tattoo, like someone did the line work, and then I went somewhere else and someone did the shading, and then I went somewhere else and someone did the color. Like, that's what it feels like. It's just like 5 different things
funny
all at once, and it doesn't go together. It doesn't.
It's funny you talk about Taylor. It's funny you talk about Taylor, because, like, I felt like her record, which we talked about last week, was too much. Too much.
I agree.
Way too much. I love all the songs, but it's too much. Now, obviously, we're talking Taylor Swift here. She doesn't give a shit if I think it's too much.
She can do anything.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't
matter. You come to this week, and we're talking about Billie Eilish, and this feels like not enough. This feels incomplete. It feels like there's more to come. This
feels lackey. Really, I was saying that last week, but I meant it in a different way. Now that I'm looking at the word, thinking about the word, this really is lackey, and I hate to say it, because I become fans. I don't listen to pop. I don't. Again, with my stubbornness and trendy crap, I don't like listening to pop. I just don't. I pick out my few little songs that I like.
Which is funny, because here we are on a podcast, a metal girl and a country guy, and we're talking about pop albums. Gotta love the world we live in. But let's try to stay on track. Let's get to the 9th song. This is a really dope message. It's not a dope message. It's a dope play on words, because we talk about perspective. Yes, perspective and ambiguousness. Because ambiguous means multiple meanings, usually 2, right? Like, you get a word and it has 2 different meanings. But she's giving words like 3, 4 different meanings in this song, and making it work all the way around is so damn cool.
Mildly, okay, I can't give an exact like comparison, but it kind of reminds me of like the Beatles.
Yes.
Like they used to do stuff like that.
I completely agree. Oh man, you took the words out of my mouth.
I can't give like a certain like example, but
no, it's true. Like if you think of like a song like "I Am the Walrus," it's a legitimate. It's a journey from beginning to end, and none of it makes any sense. But it is a journey, and that's what this song feels like as well. Again, like I was saying, it's very ambiguous, with multiple meanings. And the first of all, the name of the song is Bittersweet, and that is not with SWEET, but SUITE, meaning suite, like hotel suite, or suite, like living room suite, bedroom suite, suite, like musical suites. And she touches on all of those different meanings of that one little 5-letter word within the lyrics of this one song, and I can't stress that enough. If you go and listen to this song by itself without touching the rest of the record, this one song is journey enough for you to love this entire record.
I really love this because, like we talked about the Beatles, can you think of anyone lately that writes like that? No, you can't.
Nope.
The fact that I'm like, this reminds me of the Beatles, like, are you kidding?
That's
like,
big praise.
Huge statement. Yep. Yeah, huge statement. Y'all really go listen to this one.
So I'm going to try to, like Katie said with the docs, I kind of wrote out just kind of putting my words on how I was feeling the first time I listened to each song. I'm glad you enjoyed that, by the way, Katie. But this song specifically finds Billie feeling as if she's distant from her own desires and her own emotions while idealizing a relationship in her dreams.
I love it. I can't. Okay, this is one thing that I think Billie. We've said perspective all night or this whole time, and that really is it. It really is.
And I think confliction is the word of the day for this song. I think a lot of times as a songwriter, I think you'll agree with this, Katie, because I've seen this in your work, by the way. I think a lot of times with a song, you try to find an emotion that you're trying to portray, and then you write your melodies and your lyrics to try to get that emotion across within your song. Is that not what you're trying to do?
Absolutely. And
but how often is that emotion confliction?
A lot of times, first of all, depends on how you're saying that. I get conflicted.
I will explain for sure. I'm excited to.
The immediate thing I think about, I get conflicted because I am the kind of writer. I wish I could be like this. I'm not this good, but like, you know, the people that just sit down. This guy's name, his name is Scotty Fairclough, and I used to work with him a lot. Songwriting, recording, all the above. He would just sit down, man. I mean, he would just sit there and just be BSing, and I'd be crying. Like, he would, Billie Eilish vibe, and just sit down and start playing guitar and just start thinking these lyrics up off the top of your head and everything. And I wish I could do that to that extent. But when I do write, I just sit down and just let it flow. I don't stop and think about anything. And I feel like that's great. But I lose track mildly of what I'm trying to do. And it does become conflicting at the end of the day. Because it's not what I wanted it to do. This is not what I wanted you to be. But at the same time, this is what I came up with. So, you know.
So in this song, though, she's conflicted between...
Yeah.
She's conflicted between her go-to, which is to protect herself, which is what we all want to do typically. Like when we meet somebody new or whatever, if you happen to be dating or whatever.
You want to put those walls up.
Right. You're wanting to protect yourself. And that is her go-to place in this song. But at the same time, she's questioning her own desire for a healthy relationship. So on the left hand, she's wanting to protect herself, but on the right hand, she wants nothing more than a healthy relationship. That's what she wants. At the end of the day, in the song, that's what she's striving for. And then you have to listen to the song to find out which one of those wins.
And this is, okay, to play on the Beatles thing, it's, okay, I say completely different, but it's not. I sing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. You sit down, listen to the freaking chorus, bridge, whatever you want to call it, because song structure and everything did not apply to the Beatles.
No, they didn't give a shit about song structure.
But, like, the play on words with the Beatles, it was nuts. Like, you can sit down, think about it 20 different ways, and they all make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And with Billie, I think she got that so well on this, but it's not joke. I just saw that. What is that? Did you do that?
I did not do that. What in the world was that? I wonder if that came through. I didn't touch it. No thumbs up for Katie. I would never give her a thumbs up. So my last words on the Billie Eilish record, as I have it here, is the question that we've already asked: is 10 songs enough?
We didn't talk about Blue.
Dang it! Do we have to? So
we touched on it.
So here's the story behind Blue. The song Blue is essentially 2 different songs that she had worked up that were incomplete and didn't finish them. And she just smashed them together into this song. And sadly for Billie Eilish, it does not work. It just doesn't.
And I'm sure a lot of people, especially like the younger girls and everything, everybody listening to it, I'm sure they think it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's the bee's knees. But this is mildly how I felt about some of the Taylor Swift songs.
See, I honestly feel like this was done on purpose, though, because the Easter egg that we talked about earlier, a lot of people think that this record is the Blue record and that she is intimating that there will be a second record right behind this one that will be the Red record.
Well, if she does, are we going to talk about Taylor again? Like,
I don't know, because
hopefully it's the Blue record and not Red, because that's a little.
I hope that this this Blue song, I hope it ends up being an Easter egg, because
I do too. I hope there's more coming.
It's so not good.
This is what I hope. I hope that all of these songs, this is my hope, that she's gonna release like 31 songs or some shit like Taylor, and this whole album is gonna be more coherent. It's gonna have a better flow to it with maybe the same songs. You know what I mean? I almost wish that.
I don't think so, though. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
I know. I just wish.
But my last word on the song or on the CD is 10 songs enough or just right? I think we touched on that. I think we're both feeling like we want more. We want to understand better.
It feels lackey in a lot of spots, but also at the same time, it feels like much.
Now, for me, the 10 songs in this record, I mean, normally when you listen to a CD and it's only 10 songs, it's like, usually not, it's like, usually like 10 is usually enough, you know?
Yeah.
Or sometimes a lot of times, sometimes 10 will feel like too many, right? I feel like this record was a lot to take in, for sure. But I think that was because several of these songs had multiple parts. They were compositions rather than just regular, normal songs. And as a fan of Billie's music, I feel like some of these songs, mainly 3 to 9, scratch that itch.
They do.
But
it's unfortunate with her because, like I said, I've been listening since 2016. Unfortunately, everything of hers has always scratched my itch or itched my itch, you know? Mm-hmm. And to hear this, it is mildly disappointing. It really is. I hate to say it, but, and you know, it's funny because if this wasn't Billie, for me, Like, it would feel a little, still not really coherent, but it would feel different.
Mm-hmm.
But out of everything personally that I have seen out of her, this is mildly disappointing.
Yeah, I'm there with you, and I think just because of the first two songs, I respect the decision to include the two songs on the record. I like both the songs. I like the fact that she has the confidence to speak her mind. But I'm not going to play the songs on purpose.
Yeah, it's not a song you're going to sit and listen to. Like, it's a great statement.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a lot of songs like that, but out of Billie, it's not something I would have expected. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a good statement. Maybe I won't listen to it, but it's a good song and it has a good message. But
3 to 9, though. 3 to 9 is where it's at. I think 3 to 9, and just stay within the 3 to 9.
And by 3 to 9.
And if you relate to track number 2, which is Lunch, if you relate to that, I understand, and I applaud you, and I applaud Billie Eilish for putting that statement out there, because Lunch is the song that's going to trigger the most people, and the song is meant to trigger the most people.
And I will say, I do love, like, people find it very controversial, but I do love that we are now including everyone. Mm-hmm. That's what this feels like to me, that we're finally including everyone. Right. It's a she talking about a she.
Yep.
In a love way.
Have you ever heard of Chapel Roan?
Mm-mm.
Oh, Katie Lynn. Okay, so my homework is Phineas.
Uh-huh.
Your homework is Chapel Roan.
You're going to have to text me because I'm going to forget as soon as we...
I will. Let me write it. I will send it to you right now. Live on the air. I found her, and I found a lot of other artists on the Tiny Desk concert series on NPR.
Yep.
I've been finding a lot of my new people I'm enjoying from there. Another one I really like is Laufey. Laufey. She is Icelandish and Chinese.
I hope you know when I was sitting here with the blank face, I'm spelling it out in my brain and looking at it, and it does not.
It doesn't match. I know. So this has been episode 5 of the Chris and Kadie Show. We have gone over 2 hours. It might not be over 2 hours after I edit, though. But we're over 2 hours. Billie Eilish was a lot. That was almost an hour. How do you feel about the new segments and the games and things like that?
I love this. And look, everybody, you listen to me, okay? I act like I'm somebody, but this guy right over here, I don't know which way, here, he is kick-ass, okay? If y'all want to sit here and be like, the podcast is awesome, y'all go say Chris is awesome, okay?
Oh, thank you.
You are the soul of this podcast, and I love being a part of it, and I love the partnership, but man, you were just...
Well, I love you, Katie Lynn. I always have. You're like family to me, like a little sister or a niece. I thank you for the kindness. We're going to get to hug each other's neck in a couple of days, hopefully.
I'm so excited. We're going to have a great time.
It's going to be fun. You're going to let me record, right?
You can do anything you want.
Okay. Well,
anything you want.
I don't know.
If you want to come up on stage with me, you can.
Oh, no.
I didn't say that, but I'm saying it.
I've done enough on stage stuff with Katie Lynn to last a lifetime. Oh my gosh. I will never ever forget Katie Lynn Day, where I got to announce to you, and what was there, like 6,000 people there? Something like that. It was a lot of people.
You know what I'll never forget?
What's that?
Hosting the East Texas Music Awards with you.
How many times did we do it? We did it twice, right? Was it twice?
We really were serious about it that one time, that 1 year. But yes, we did it twice.
So, fun fact, if you didn't know, but when Katie and I were co-hosts of the ETX Music Awards, Katie had, I think, 5 or 6 wardrobe changes. And every single time she changed her dress, I changed my suit square. Did you notice that?
Loved it. Yes, we coordinated it.
Yep.
I loved it. I loved it.
So that was fun times,
Someday
man.
we'll have to talk about the folklore of Chris and Kadie.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be fun to talk about the background.
That would be fun.
For sure. But anyway, let's bring this to an end. All good things must come to an end. For those of you who would like to become a sponsor of the show, or if you have recommendations or suggestions for topics for our games, or if you have a question specifically for me or Katie that you would like to have answered live on the podcast, you can send us an email at thechrisandkadieshow@gmail.com. All sponsors and merchandise that is sold for this show goes to support our equipment and the way we look and all of that stuff. So thank you for that. And you can find links for all of that stuff down in the description. I'm also going to include a link to Billie Eilish's brand new record. That way you guys can check that out while we're talking about the record. You guys will have access to that link. Listen along as we're talking about the record, for sure. That would be fun. I also would be remiss not to talk about 10 Minutes with Boston Chris, which will be coming out tomorrow. I think we're going to be releasing this episode on June 7th. And I think I'm going to be releasing the very first interview on June 8th, which is going to be Saturday. So when you guys are seeing this episode, tomorrow will be the first episode of the new interview show. And you're going to be a guest on that eventually, right?
Yeah, if you'll let me.
Of course I will. Of course. Just to give you guys a couple of folks that have confirmed to be on the show. I'm not going to give any names, but I can tell you in the first 2 months of the show, we will have talked to a Texas Music Award winner, a Grammy-nominated 14 #1 hits country music Nashville songwriter, a Rhode Island Music Hall of Famer, a Miss Alabama winner, the bassist for 7 years for B.B. King is going to be on the show.
Okay.
I got some big stuff coming, Katie.
I did. Okay. Shit.
So make sure you guys are following along. It's going to be fun. Lots of folks coming that I'm excited to talk to. Some new and some old friends that I've talked to before. So it should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode number 5 of the Chris and Kadie Show. Get you a shirt or some coffee or something.
Get you some shit.
Support the show. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you down the road.